Welcome back to another episode of the CopCast, Chiefs Chat Edition. I'm one of your hosts, Lisa Greenberg.
And I'm Officer Mercedes Simonds. Together we make up the Public Affairs Office. Good morning, Chief. Happy Friday.
Aloha. Welcome back.
I know.
Aloha.
Look, it was awesome. But to be honest, I don't recommend traveling with a 1-year-old baby across like the entire continental United States with a 6-hour time change.
It was brave.
Because let me tell you, he was a very good sleeper before.
Well, I don't have a 1-year-old baby, so if I was traveling with one, it might be illegal.
That might be a little weird.
Yeah.
Hopefully Drake catches up on the sleep and gets back on his sleep schedule, because that's tough.
We're still working on it, but we'll get there. It's fine.
He's on Hawaii time.
I know, right? He just wants to...
Are you still on Hawaii time?
You know, I'd like to say I'm still on island time, but I think we have a pace to keep here to actually get things done.
Oh my
so
gosh.
instead, I'm on coffee time.
We beat island time out of people.
Yeah.
If you were on island time, no more.
Speaking of coffee time, I got my Cleveland Police mug here.
Nice.
We got a lot of people from Northeast Ohio in the Cape, so this is an ode to them. But this is a gift actually from a retired deputy chief, a good friend of mine, Mike, and his father was a Cleveland police officer, and he gave me this as a gift.
That's awesome. Yeah. You know, my dad is actually from Cleveland. Really? And I had never been, because he moved to Florida when he was like 12 years old. So I'd never been to Cleveland or anything like that. And I became best friends with someone who was from Cleveland. So the first time I ever went was to visit her. And it's just funny because my dad was from there, and they'd be like, you never went back to like visit where your dad came from? And my dad, once he became a Florida boy, he was like, nah, we don't ever need to go back there. So we have family ties to Cleveland too.
There's not much to do in the Midwest. Like, I was born in Indiana, and there's just like...
Well, Cleveland has the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yep, that's their thing.
Which there's new inductees, I think. That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, we'll get into that another time. I guess we have some things we should talk about related to the police department today, huh?
That's why people watch, right?
Well, it is National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, which is really awesome. We love lifting up and celebrating our telecommunicators whenever we can, our dispatchers, our call takers, all of that. But it's nice to have a special week dedicated to those hardworking people.
100%. You know, we have Police Week in May, Victim Advocates Week. Everybody gets recognized, and this is one of the big ones. Telecommunicators Week, which is 911 operators, dispatchers, everybody who, when you have an emergency and the police show up, the first person you talk to is a 911 operator or a dispatcher, telecommunicator. So we like to celebrate what they do for us. They are the first responders, and it's a big deal in this building for us this week. And we have something that is the inaugural, right? That means the first ever Golden Headset Award.
That's awesome.
And we're doing that a little bit later today. We're going to be awarding a longtime employee for us that really embodies what that job's all about. And her name is Sam Drake, and we are very fortunate, lucky to have her working for us. So that's going to be fun.
She's awesome. I'm super, super excited about that for her. That's awesome. It's cool that they're doing this award. I want to see the trophy. I bet it's pretty cool.
Is it actually a golden headset?
That's what I'm thinking. It has to be, right?
It better be. That's what we're calling it.
The golden headset.
Maybe gold plated, but
right. Maybe not 24 karat or anything, but yeah, that's really awesome. It's super cool.
Big shout out to her. And if you ever want to hear some good police stories, quote unquote, you know, you talk to a cop, but if you want to hear some great ones, talk to a dispatcher, because they hear everything and they're on the line with them. They have the same stresses. You know, we get them CIT training or crisis intervention training. They're a big recipient of our wellness programs because they've earned it. And it's a tremendous career. And Sam is just an embodiment of everybody in that room. So it's wonderful.
It's also cute. They do little superlatives.
I was going to say they had.
I don't know if you knew
started
that.
The cute, like cute. Maybe cutest isn't the right word, but I think it's the cutest superlatives. Like they have way better titles for it. Check out our Facebook because we're going to post them on there with people's pictures. But they've got like fastest typer, caffeine connoisseur, just different things like that. That you know they have their own community and culture within communications, and I think it's great to celebrate that.
I'll give you a cool story. So, Hurricane Ian was Hurricane Ian, right? And when everything's going on, and we're living in this building. And then Milton is another one. Dispatchers do an all call, and they live here. And when they live here, they bring the crock pots, and there's homemade soups and stews and chilies, and they've got talent. We should probably have like a cooking contest.
That'd be awesome.
And they would rival a lot of people. They're phenomenal. Find your way into dispatch if we ever have another incident like that. You'll be fed well.
The incredible work they do, whether it's with a crock pot or on a headset. They're great. We love our dispatchers. So big shout out to them, not just this week, every week.
Yeah.
Every week,
of course. Another big win that we had is we got our mobile command
vehicle. Yes, we did.
Right?
We
I'm
did.
like, is it unit? Vehicle? Mobile command vehicle.
We have so many acronyms. It's really hard to keep things
MCV.
short. Yeah, we call it our MCV.
All right. So what is an MCV? Why is it important to you, the resident? What was the navigated path that we did to be able to acquire this replacement? It's not a new asset for us. We've had a mobile command vehicle, I believe, well over 20 years. I think early 2000s is when we got the current one. And just the ongoing operating and maintenance of it, there's a scale. And when the maintenance starts to creep up, it's time to move on from an asset because you're pumping a lot of money into it. And the technology is old. We've upgraded the technology a couple of times, but you hit a wall where you can't do that anymore. So long story short, we need a new one. Now, good organizations plan, but great organizations have contingencies and are nimble and are able to maneuver to still accomplish the goal. And I'll tell you why that's important. So when we do budgeting, and we talked about it on the podcast before, we don't just come up with something year by year. We forecast out. So the need for replacement by the schedule of maintenance and the wear and tear, we knew by fiscal year 26, which it began on October 1st of 2025, is when we were going to execute that replacement. So it was 3 or 4 years before that is when we put it into the budget to start planning for it. And at the 11th hour before we fully engaged fiscal year 26's budget for the overall city, it was cut. And that's not a big deal. That's not taking a shot at anybody. That is the realities of municipal budgeting. There are things that are in that have to be reduced to balance the budget. And we are one component or one spoke on a very large wheel. So when there are cuts that need to be made or in order to balance a budget, we play our part. So that is an item that was removed. Now, even before it was removed, the technology just across the globe is advancing, and the MCV space is no different. So we were already identifying a way to go smaller, leaner, meaner, more navigable, to be able to be better used. So we were already looking to find a better platform. When you think of technology advancements in 20-something years, it's been quite a jump. So when that got cut, the one thing that doesn't get cut or removed is the need. So that's why I talk about good organizations plan, great organizations have contingency. So our contingency is to identify alternate funding for it. Now, when we decided to go with a smaller platform, then the price is reduced. So we were able to find a reduction in price, number one. And number two, we utilized a funding source called forfeiture. And what forfeiture is, there's two different kinds. There's state and federal. And forfeiture is essentially seized criminal assets. So if you make a big case and you seize money or you seize property and you're able to auction that property, you get money into an account. And the state law has limited ability for you to do it. You can't plan a birthday party with seized criminal assets, but you can acquire technology, you can acquire things, right? To further your mission. And that is exactly what this is. So when the budgeted funds were reduced or were eliminated, we pivoted and we identified another funding source and we move forward. So we don't miss a beat. So you can rest assured that your police department has the equipment to be able to operate. And what is the operation for that? The operation for that, if you work in an office, you have all of your tools at your disposal. So when you're taking a phone call or doing a project, doing it in your office you're much better at it than you are mobily in the field with your cell phone. And you can get the job done out there like that, but you are much more efficient with your tools from the office. An MCV is taking the police department headquarters, your office, to the job site. So if we have a critical incident, which we have our share, to be able to effectively police and execute what needs to be done, you are so much better having those tools and having the ability to acquire technology in real time, a link to our real-time intelligence center, having command people there with essentially an office, the headquarters. You're that much better to be able to manage a large-scale incident, especially one that unfolds either rapidly or long-term. So you can have a sustainable footprint on an incident, and that's not a new concept. That's something we've had for a generation here, and this is just a new, modern, keeping up with the times and being on the forefront, which is what we try to do in any aspect of what we do, is to be a leader in the field, to be a head and a driver in the profession. And we were able to do that, and it was a big win. It went before a city council vote. And let me just explain just for a second why that happened. The city council entrusts the city manager to manage the day-to-day operations, and the city manager entrusts me to administer and run the police department. So developing the need, researching the need, and moving all the way to acquisition of things is what you pay me to do. Mm-hmm. The reason it went before city council is one of those provisions in the law is that when you're going to use either state forfeiture funding or federal forfeiture funding, the sheriff would go to the Board of County Commissioners. A police chief would go to the municipal elected body, which in our case is the city council, and you receive permission to use those funds. It wasn't a vote on do you need that or who are you to decide. That's not the relationship that we have. They have trust in what we do. It was a statutory requirement to be able to expend that portion of the funding.
It's essentially like a check.
Yeah, I was going to say
check and balance.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And to ensure
it makes sense.
that it gets vetted by the attorney's office that we are using this money. Is it in accordance with state law? Yes, it is. And then you have to go and say, we are going to use this money for a project or an initiative or something that meets the requirements outlined in the statute. So very simple process. There's a lot of confusion with that from are we using taxpayer money? Even if we were, that is what taxpayer money is for. But we were not. We found an alternate source. And as to why we needed it, I think we explained that. And that was the purpose of the resolution at the most recent city council meeting, was not the why. It was the authorization to use federal seized criminal asset forfeiture funding.
And they approved it.
And they approved it. And it's also, people want to know what it's used for. Obviously, there's the crime scenes, the large scale crime scenes. There's the events, Red, White, and Boom. There's or other events. There's, God forbid, there's any other type of critical incident within the city. That's what these are used for. So again, this is just another way that we can better serve our community, do a better job in the field than if we didn't have it. And that's why it was so necessary. And it's interesting too, because a while back we did a podcast episode about forfeiture money, what it's used for. And this is just a prime example of one of the reasons, it's not like we, like you said, throw a birthday party with it. We use it for things that the department needs.
So we talked about it, and voila, here's a good example. And if we did a party with that money, it would probably be my going away party, because I would be fired or probably in a lot of trouble. So no. And people see an MCV most of the time, unless you've experienced a critical incident or had something happen in your neighborhood. The majority of the time you see it is at like a Red, White, and Boom or bike night. It's not there for show and tell.
No.
It is there because it is being utilized for the safety and security of a large scale event. If we have a critical incident in a neighborhood, it will be deployed for that. If there's, you name it, natural disasters, man-made disasters, anything like that is what that's for. And it's exactly what I talked about before. It's having all the tools and the ability to be robust like you would in your office on a scene. So,
Absolutely. It's exciting. I'm excited to see it.
yeah,
I bet it'll be pretty cool.
I think so.
We have Law and Order Ball tomorrow night.
Oh,
That's
yes.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
2 awesome officers as finalists.
And I think we talked about this before. This is every police department or law enforcement agency in Southwest Florida, or at least Lee County.
Yeah.
And we can nominate, usually about 4 or 5, you can nominate each department. So there's a lot of nominees. And then they're read by a panel established by the Rotary. And they take out any identifying agency or officer or deputy information. So it's just the merits of the story. And that gets whittled down to 5 finalists. So you could have 30 plus nominees, and they whittle those down in a blind taste test to 5. And 2 of the 5 finalists are Cape Coral police officers. It's a great event. The community comes out strong to support. It is a law and order region. It is a back the blue and back the green region. And it's just a wonderful event. And I like the fact that the nominees, good for them, but when they bring their families, and the families get to see a different side of mom and dad,
Oh, yeah.
right? Because nobody goes home and brags about what they do, at least to that degree. And then when you see them highlighted and hear the stories, it's a special event, and it's a big reason why Southwest Florida is a great place to be.
Definitely. We had the winner last year, so I'm excited
We
to
did.
see if one of our 2 this
Maybe.
year.
I feel like at the very least, the 2 that we have are very good
Oh,
contenders,
yeah.
and I'm proud of them, regardless of winning or anything like that.
For
we have
sure.
such good representation with such genuine people that not only do things for our department, also do things for the community, which I think is what the Law and Order Ball specifically targets.
100%. And I have the ability to see some of the other nominations, and they're great too.
Yeah.
I mean, the other 3 of
Oh,
the
I'm
5,
sure.
they're phenomenal. So we're well represented in this region. Our partners are awesome. We work well together, and no matter what we're all winners here. Is
Yeah.
that
We're
what
all
you're trying to
winners
say?
here. It's true. Lieutenant Philemana of our Community Services Bureau, he's awesome. And then Canine Officer Travis Harrison, who we've had on the podcast. So if you're curious about him, you can go back and listen to his episode. His Canine makes an appearance, who's also nominated
I
for
was gonna
Canine
say
of the Year.
Canine Van is also one of the nominees. So
Yeah, so it's a big event. It's exciting. It's always awesome. So I'm looking forward to see what happens.
Alico Arena, Saturday night.
Woohoo!
Gonna be fun.
I'll
Gonna be
there.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, awesome. All right, anything else, guys?
Good for me.
All right, let's wrap it up then. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Stay safe. Thank you for listening to the Cape CopCast, where we dive into the heart of the Cape Coral Police Department safety initiatives, community relations, and the insightful stories of different officers that make up our department.
Please like and share our podcast. If you have feedback, you can email capepdpao@capecoral.gov. And remember to follow us on social media. Our handle is @CapePD on all major platforms. Stay safe, stay Cape.